Welcome back to the Cossy channel. My name is Cossy. Welcome back to a brand new video. Martin Zubimendi is finally in London to complete his transfer to Arsenal. David Ornstein and Just Nicholas are reporting that at the moment Arsenal are just finalizing a few formalities and Martin Zubimendi will officially be the first signing of the summer for Arsenal. However, David Ornstein says that at the moment, Arsenal are seriously now working and progressing on in number 9. He has always been the priority. The priority for this summer has always been for Arsenal to sign in number 9. And after Martin Zubimendi, Arsenal will now progress to go and sign a centre forward, either Victor Gyökeres or Benjamin Sesko. We are yet to find out, but moves are now progressing. At the moment as well, Arsenal are looking at alternatives to Nico Williams, who's going to be joining FC Barcelona, and Mohamed Kudus and Noni Madueke are emerging as options. Arsenal are looking at Noni Madueke at Chelsea. Of course, Chelsea want to sign Gittens, and they also have Pedro Neto on that side as well. So maybe there could be an availability for Noni Madueke. Mohamed Kudus is a player Arsenal have liked for some time, right from his time at Ajax. Could we get the deal done? We're going to be discussing all that and more. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. We've got our first man. When are we signing the next player? Who is going to be the next signing? We're going to be discussing all that and more in this video. Let's start off with that big story from David Ornstein and Just Nicholas that Martin Zubimendi is now in London to complete his transfer to Arsenal. They're saying that he will meet with the Arsenal officials and complete formalities of the transfer to the Emirates Stadium. The 26-year-old Spanish international midfielder joins from Real Sociedad in a deal since regarded as already done by Arsenal and already signed as well. So that is what we're getting from The Athletic, Just Nicholas and David Ornstein. And this is coming in at the right time for me because I think there was a little bit of transfer panic in the Arsenal fan base. It was starting to feel like Arsenal were falling behind, deals are not happening, and personally was feeling like this is a transfer where we're going to bottle it. It's a transfer where Liverpool are going to have a very good window, City are going to have a very good window, United are going to have a very good window, and possibly Chelsea as well. And then Arsenal, who just need a few good signings, are actually going to bottle it as well. But the signing of Martin Zubimendi changes everything, absolutely everything, especially right at this moment. First, I think there's a story I was reading on the morning that Arsenal didn't want to sign players early in June because they didn't want to pay the wages of players while they were on international duty. And therefore, Arsenal were willing to wait until later in June or early in July for them to sign players because by then the international break will be over. And maybe it makes sense, but then I remember Arsenal signed Gabriel Jesus earlier on. Arsenal signed Rice earlier on. Arsenal signed Kai Havertz a little bit earlier on. Does that make any sense? Possibly it does. But at the moment, Martin Zubimendi is this transfer that has been causing a bit of division among the fan base, but also among the press. A few people saying Madrid are trying to hijack the deal. That is why it's not happening. And then a few people are saying the deal is done. Fabrizio gave us the here we go. The Athletic also gave us that bomber from David Ornstein that the deal was already done and signed. We were in between there. But it is confirmed now. It's a done deal. Martin Zubimendi will be signed for Arsenal. That is if he doesn't fail the medical. So where we are right now is the player is just meeting with the Arsenal officials to complete a few things. Then medicals will be done and he will be announced as our first signing of the summer. This is so interesting because it comes in at a time when Arsenal are about to lose Thomas Partey. And yesterday we had a lot of news on Thomas Partey leaving Arsenal, and Fabrizio was actually basically saying that he might leave, Partey might leave Arsenal. And then the next day, we have Martin Zubimendi. Does that mean that Arsenal are now resigned to the fact that we're losing Thomas Partey? And that's why Martin Zubimendi is now being brought in right at this time. Maybe to calm the fan base, maybe to show the fan base that, yes, we already have a plan. Is that the plan? Possibly, possibly not. But for me, Zubimendi, like I said, good signing. Mikel Arteta likes him. I don't think there is another 26-year-old player in his prime playing at DM, wanted by Liverpool, Man City, Barcelona, and Real Madrid, that is going to be signing for Arsenal. Obviously, there are players like Lucien Agume, there are players like not Moises Caicedo, but what's his name? The boy at Brighton, the midfielder at Brighton, like him very much. Those are the players that you can get right at the moment, and they're not going to come any cheap. Maybe Bruno Guimaraes as well. So for me, getting him at 60 million euros, as reported by Fabrizio, Arsenal will pay a little bit more than the 60 million euro release clause. We're going to be paying about 66 million euros. But for me, that is okay. First deal. I hope after this Arsenal progress to other deals. I hope after this we don't wait for another 3 weeks before Arsenal get another deal done. This should be the first deal. Within a week or so, go and get a centre forward and then do the left winger deal. Get Kepa deal done as well. Arsenal want a centre forward. Arsenal want a centre back as well. Go and get those deals done so that we can compete favorably with the likes of Liverpool and Man City. They've done their business early. They've done their business very well. It is our turn to show up. And in terms of Arsenal doing other deals, it's being reported that between now and the beginning of pre-season, which is the 19th of July, Mikel Arteta wants about 5 signings in these different areas. First and foremost, Martin Zubimendi is done. Unless the medicals play out differently, I think Martin Zubimendi will be an Arsenal player. That is already confirmed. But also Mikel Arteta wants a centre forward. And we're going to talk about a centre forward because David Ornstein has given us a very refreshing and very reassuring update on a centre forward. But he wants a centre forward. He also wants a centre back. And we are talking to Joro Hato. I'll give you an update on that. He also wants a left winger. We'll talk about Noni Madueke on this video. And we'll talk about Mohamed Kudus as well on this video. And then finally, he wants a backup goalkeeper. It kind of feels like Mikel is okay with the fact that Arsenal might not sign a left back, especially with Milos Kerkez, who has been our priority in that area, now going to Liverpool. But to do 5 signings within a space of 1 month, that is 4 weeks, it's going to be remarkable. It's going to be purely remarkable. Pure magic. And I think Andre Bata can do that because we've been told that his strategy is to talk to different players in the same position before deciding to sign. And that means that by this time, he has talked to like 1 million centre forwards, 1 million left wingers, 1 million centre backs. Right now, it's time for him to go and pick that one target at left back, that one target at goalkeeper, that one target at left wing. It should be easy work, but we wait and see. Now, apart from the Martin Zubimendi deal, David Ornstein is also reporting that the priority for us this summer remains a centre forward. Now, of course, what does this mean? I don't know. That does mean that we are going to be spending a lot of money on the centre forward. That could be true. That could be, a fallacy as well. But he says that Arsenal are now seriously working on the striker deal after the arrival of Martin Zubimendi. And Arsenal fans, you should be able to get something on the striker deal very, very soon. So at the moment, there is something that the Athletic have actually made very clear. Arsenal want these 2 strikers. One is Benjamin Sesko, and the other is, on your screen, Victor Gyökeres. Those are the 2 strikers that Arsenal are working on. Those are the 2 deals that we are working on. And yesterday, we were reporting from Alex Cook that Arsenal were actually getting a lot of confidence from the Gyökeres end that a deal will be done. And then from the Athletic, they're also still reporting that Benjamin Sesko is high on the list of priorities at centre forward, and Mikel Arteta would love to sign him. But I think what we are gonna get and where we are gonna go right now is Arsenal should be able to agree personal terms with whoever Andre Bata and Mikel Arteta agree upon. If it is Sesko, personal terms should be agreed. The moment you agree personal terms with either role, I think that's the guy. If we agree personal terms with Gyökeres and then the wages are put straight, I think that's it. If we straighten wages with Sesko, I think that's going to be the one. Because there was a story coming out from Germany yesterday that Sesko wanted a release clause in his contract at Arsenal. That if Arsenal was signing him, maybe for 80 million euros, his management and the player wanted us to put a release clause in his contract so that if Madrid come in and they are, they have £100 million and they can activate that release clause, then they should be able to do that. I don't think Arsenal are going to agree to that ever in our lives. I don't think that's going to happen. We are a big club and we do not care if Benjamin Sesko thinks in the next 5 years he's going to be the biggest striker in the world. We cannot do such a deal, right? Erling Haaland tried to do it with Chelsea. I think that was in 2020. Was it 2022 or 2021? Before signing for Manchester City. And Chelsea said, look, you're a very good striker. You're a very young guy. You could be the best you can be. We are not putting a release clause in your contract. You better stay at Borussia Dortmund. So for me, Benjamin Sesko, he's got to lower his demands, right? I know that in terms of wages, it's not going to be the most expensive one, but a release clause in his contract, trust me, that is not happening. But we should be able to get a lot more progress on these deals. We should be able to see where Arsenal are going to place bids, and we should also be able to see what kind of structures both Sporting and RB Leipzig are willing to listen to. Now, Arsenal are also working on a left winger. Now, like I said in May, the left winger position is quite tricky. Arsenal are willing to sell Gabriel Martinelli, according to Graham Bailey and Alex Cook. Arsenal don't have a problem with cashing in on Gabriel Martinelli. And I think many Arsenal fans are saying, listen, if we are upgrading on Nelly, if we are getting a much better player on Gabriel Martinelli and a player that can actually compete favorably with Trossard, a player who's better than Trossard, then it's okay. Now, Arsenal are looking at these two players and we're going to try and decide on this video if they are upgrades to Gabriel Martinelli and Leandro Trossard. Number one is Mohamed Kudus. Now, according to a Twitter account called the ex-West Ham employee, very reliable account, reported they were the first to break the Declan Rice story. But I've followed them for quite some time. They're very reliable when it comes to West Ham news. They reported the Paqueta news. It was accurate. They reported, I think, the Jared Bowen story to Arsenal, and Arsenal were really interested. That was accurate, but the price was too much. So they're very, very credible account. And they're saying that a preliminary round of talks has been held between Arsenal, West Ham, and Mohamed Kudus, but Arsenal still feel Mohamed Kudus is a very expensive option. And there is one thing I want to tell Mikel Arteta, Andrea Bata, Tim Lewis, and whoever is working with on transfers at Arsenal this summer. If you want premium quality, you're going to have to pay premium money. Because all the players that we are complaining about in terms of prices are premium quality, are premium talent. You look at Victor Gyökeres, that is premium quality. You look at Rodrigo, premium quality, premium talent. You look at Anthony Gordon, maybe not premium talent, but for me, the quality is there. Alexander Isak, premium quality as well. I like Mohamed Kudus. Arsenal followed Mohamed Kudus for quite some time. We tried to sign him in the summer of 2022, but we didn't have enough money. If a deal can be done for 50 to 60 million pounds, go and do the deal. For me, if Arsenal cannot do the Rodrigo deal, and we cannot do the Anthony Gordon deal, because maybe Gordon is not for sale, and maybe Rodrigo is too expensive, let's go and do the Mohamed Kudus deal. West Ham are open to selling if a good offer arrives. I think for me, he's one of the best options out there. Lookman is another, Semenyo is another, but if you ask me, which player has the qualities that this Arsenal team need? A player that has the drive, a player that has the speed, a player that has the finishing, a player that has the versatility to play as a right winger, as a left winger, as a number 10. Mohamed Kudus is exceptional. He's performing like that for a team like West Ham. If you put him in this Arsenal team, he's better. For me, yeah, he's an upgrade on Gabriel Martinelli. And then Noni Madueke. I don't want to sound pessimistic here, but is Noni Madueke a rapid upgrade on Gabriel Martinelli? Now, I would understand Noni Madueke is a player that Arsenal could sign in terms of that versatile winger. Can play on the right and back up Saka, if a role that Mikel Arteta is desperate to get someone into. And then he can also play on the left. But playing on the left, is he the kind of guy that's going to put up numbers like Saka, numbers like Vinicius, numbers like Mbeumo at Brentford. I don't think he's that guy. I don't think he gives you that premium quality that we are actually looking for. And lastly, Arsenal have held another round of talks with Jura Hatso and Ajax. We're trying to sign him. It's going to be a little bit expensive and he's not the priority at the moment. But Arsenal are closely monitoring centre backs, Jura Hatso and Maggie as well. I've seen Crystal Palace are trying to sign Osman Diamonde, and that will lead us a little bit more into the Maggie story. Liverpool are there, Arsenal are there, Chelsea are there. So it's a little bit competitive, but Arsenal, very serious on a centre back.